We just can't have nice things in Philadelphia, can we? We just can't. JT Realmuto announced yesterday, breaking news, going under the knife and having knee surgery. It's pretty less than ideal for the Philadelphia Phillies, even though they are the best team in baseball. We're going to talk about that today, what that means, what it means recovery time for JT, what the Phillies should do with the catcher position depending on how the surgery goes today. We're going to talk about that all day. We're going to talk quarterback rankings, more Jalen Hurts talk today. There's lots of quarterback lists. Quarterback lists are back. We got that today as well. We got lots of stuff to cover today. Trending in the AM, we're live. Talking your thoughts and opinions in 60 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome welcome all to Trending in the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. We are live, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. You know that drill. Wherever you are watching, do me that favor and hit that like button, that share button, that subscribe button, that follow button. Wherever you are, hit those buttons and get as many people into the show as possible. Get as many people here talking about all things trending in Philly sports world in general, just pretty much anything and everything you'll want to talk about. Get them in here. That's what you do. You hit that share button, you hit that subscribe button, you hit that follow button. You do that, we grow this show, and we continue to have a fantastic time every single morning right here. I am your host, Phil Stiefel. You can find me on any social media platform I am on at Beard and Knowledge. That's how you find me. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You know it. That's how you find me. What the heck is going on there? Just trying to do my thing as I do every single morning here, and my phone just does not want to cooperate today. There we go. Got it. So we got lots on the agenda today, guys. Obviously, JT Realmuto. Breaking news yesterday after the show. We did not expect this news to happen. This was not something that we were being warned could happen. All of a sudden, we see Matt Gelb and then a few others drop a bombshell on social media that JT Realmuto is going under the knife. And I'll be honest, I was shocked. I'm not shocked that he needs to have surgery because obviously JT Realmuto has been banged up. He catches a lot of innings last year, the year before that, this year already. And you could just tell when on Sunday he was pinch ran for by Garret Stubbs in the bottom of the ninth inning or the top of the ninth inning. JT Realmuto is one of the fastest catchers in baseball. You don't pinch run for him when you're down 2. You just knew something was bothering him. You could tell he was banged up. So it's not shocking that he's having knee surgery. Okay? It just came out of left field. We did not expect it to happen. We didn't know it was happening. It's just happening. And it's happening today. And there's a lot of rumors and there's a lot of WebMD doctors out there talking about the injury and the surgery. And you got people saying he'll be back in a week. You got people saying he'll be not back ever again. You know, like there's so many extremes on this. And I want to pull up. I messaged a good friend of the show, Brett, yesterday because he's a PT guy. He knows a lot about these injuries and the recoveries. It's not a meniscus tear. And it's called, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, meniscus meniscectomies. Meniscectomies. It's basically a much lesser, easier, not as big of a deal version, I guess, of an injury like that. Like, it's not super severe. It's more of a cleanup, so to say, than anything else. Cleaning the knee up, getting some of the damage repaired. It's not destroyed the knee, it's damaged. And I think there's a big, drastic difference there. And that's why, in big picture theory, we shouldn't be too upset. I fully expect JT Realmuto to be back in 4 weeks, 5 weeks, somewhere in that neighborhood. And we're the best team in baseball. We've built up I think after last night's win, we're up to a 10-game lead in the division. We have built up the room to survive these kind of issues. Brandon Marsh, his rehab assignment starting. He'll be back soon. Trey Turner might be back by Monday, maybe even sooner. So we are losing the best catcher in baseball, BCIB. But we're getting back 2 key cogs as well. So this team is built a lead. This team is built to survive. This team is built to handle these kind of things. When you have 9 guys that can make an all-star game on your roster, when one goes down, there's plenty of guys that could step up. So the question is, what do they do with catcher? Because all these guys, Turner's coming back, Marsh is coming back, Sosa's been really good. Like, none of them are catchers. So you're looking at the Garret Stubbs, and, it's a little early in the morning for Quinyon, so I won't get crushed totally for this. And you got, minor leaguer Rafael Marchand. I don't know if it's Marchand or Marcon. Whatever you want to call him, Marcon, called up to fill the roster spot. So we've got 2 not starting level catchers on the roster now. Garret Stubbs and Marcon. And Barbara put this comment in yesterday after I set this show up right away. Stubbs wasn't an MLB player, and I'm very upset now. Look, Garret Stubbs is not an everyday player. I don't think anybody thinks he is. He is, I don't even know what to call him. He's a clubhouse guy. He's a locker room glue kind of guy. He's a culture guy. He's a great backup catcher, in theory, because of what he does outside of on the baseball field. But now he's going to be forced to start at a minimum half the games over the next month. And he's going to be exposed to what kind of a poor baseball player he is. And I know he had an error last night on a throw, and I know that's why Barb was probably talking about that. Look, we can survive. Now, we have to wait till today's surgery happens. We got to wait till the surgeon comes out and says, this is what we did to his knee. We've got to wait till all these things happen before we can really get into. People are instantly talking about it as soon as this news broke. They go on WebMD and they think his season's over, or he's not going to be back till mid-October. Before we overreact and say we're trading Andrew Painter for a top-tier starting catcher, let's just wait and see what the surgeon says. If it's a 4-week recovery and that's it, and we're getting Trey Turner back really soon and Brandon Marsh back really soon, in theory, this Philadelphia Phillies team should have no problem masking the JT Realmuto injury. They really should. JT Realmuto should be able to be covered for a 4-week-ish stretch. Now, the question is, when he comes back, what kind of guy will he be? Will he recover fully from the knee? Will it slow him down at all? That's another thing we've got to talk to with therapists and stuff like that. What that's going to be. And when Brett gets in the conversation, if he does, he said he might join us for a little bit today in the convo, what he looks like in 4 weeks, if it's just a minor surgery, how much pain he's in, how much discomfort, can he run? Can he get that pop to throw guys out at second? I don't know. I'm normally a hit the panic button guy. I'm normally we can't have nice things in Philly guy. But I'm trying to turn over a new leaf. I'm trying to turn over the positivity. And I'm telling you, I'm not overreacting to JT Realmuto at all. No way, shape, or form are we in survival mode. We have a squad that can take care of this. And that's what I'm trying. I'm not trying to say we're surviving JT. We're surviving the JT Realmuto injury because we have a squad. Guys, and we're starting this off. I didn't even talk about in my cold intro here. We've got lots on the agenda today. We're going to talk a lot of Phillies and JT Realmuto today. NBA Finals Game 3 is tonight. I don't know if anybody else, but I've lost interest already after 2 games. More talk on this Hurts and Sirianni and whatnot beef. That'll be on the agenda. Some fun conversations like Roy McIlroy getting back with his wife. I tell a story there. Who the hell is Kelly in Vegas and her quarterback list? Chris Sims put out his. There's a lot like that I want to cover today. Some jokes I want to cover today. So I got lots of fun things on the agenda. So it's not just Phillies talk. We are going to talk a lot about this Phillies situation, but it's not going to be the only thing on the agenda today. What's up, Deeps? How you doing? Great job on the show on worst football team in Eagles history draft last night. You put your team up for vote last night on Twitter. And I don't know if to grade it an A or a D because your team is really bad. But that was the point, to draft the worst team. So do you want me to grade your draft a D, or do you want me to grade you an A for doing the best of the worst? I don't know. You got to specify on what you want. D, Mitchy Poo, what's up, my man? When is Trey Turner expected back? I don't think anybody. There's a million reports on when he's going to be back, These. Until the surgeon gets in there and cleans up that knee, there is zero chance that we know whether it's going to be 2 to 4 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. I think worst case scenario. Oh, Trey Turner. Sorry, not JT. I'm thinking JT. Trey Turner, they're saying is working his way back. There's a slim chance he's back this weekend in Baltimore. Most likely they're going to hold him off till Monday when they're back in Philly to come back. So you've got, at worst, 5 more games without Trey Turner. 3 to 5 more games without Brandon Marsh. So we're getting 2 cogs in our lineup, 1 all-star back in our lineup within a week. We could survive 4 to 6 weeks without JT Realmuto. What's up, Derek? How you doing this morning? Not sure what we're laughing at, or we're smiling. They're not laughs. They're smiles. You put this up here before. You got to DM me this to remind me. I got a plan. I don't want to disrespect the great Adam Sandler by just, spit firing my favorite movies of his and then missing clearly 2 or 3 great ones as well. So DM me, remind me. I'll do some research at work today after making my golf lineups for the U.S. Open, which is also this week. Stevie, what's up, my man? It's scary because it's the best catcher in baseball, but it's only 4 weeks. Stubbs should be able to hold the position down. Being up 10 games helps keep the panic. Exactly. You build up a 10-game cushion. If anything is making me panic, it's that I see other people on this. I'm more concerned about the health of other players on this team than JT Realmuto getting the knee cleaned up right now is great, because then, in theory, he should be good by the time the guts of the season happens, the playoffs roll around. I'm worried about Alec Bohm. The JT Realmuto injury just popping up out of nowhere and him having surgery. Alec Bohm looks like he's been banged up dramatically lately. He's just not moving as well and whatnot. He's not swinging the bat, not just successfully as he was, but just the smoothness of his swing. I'm worried there's a lot of nicks and bangs and bruises already for this team. And Stubbs, I don't expect Stubbs to have to hold it down alone. You got Rafael Marcon there as well. There are people that saying he should be starting over Stubbs a majority of these games. Not doing it. I am evenly splitting the games every other day, matchup-wise, whatever it may be, because Marcon's not a major league catcher. Everybody loves the bat. Marcon, we'll just call him Rafael, is like the Paul Turner of the Phillies. He impresses fans in spring training every year. Everyone thinks he should be the backup, yet he's still playing and bouncing between Clearwater and Lehigh Valley. Like, he's never even I think he's had like his I have his stats, minor league and major, up on two different screens. He's got 23 starts in his career in the majors. He hasn't been on a big league club since 2021 with the Phillies when he played in 20 games. Probably for another JT Realmuto injury, I guess. Like I'm not a Marcon guy. I'm not. Is it Marcan? Marcon? Marcone? Somebody phonetically spell his last name in the comments here. Garret Stubbs. To me, every 7 games it should be 4 Stubbs, 3 Marcon. That's just me. I'm going to say it differently every single time, so someone gives me a proper pronunciation. Oh, I'm so far off. Den Brew is right. It's Marchand. It's not Marcon. It's Marchand. Why don't they just spell it like that? Marchand. Okay, so Marchand is not a guy that could play more than 3 out of 7 games, in my opinion. He's a great minor league depth piece, but that is it. Marchand, I love it. So it's Marchand. In the words of what was the Chris Berman, Marchand Lynch. What's up, K1? How you doing this morning? Super underrated Sandler movie, Punch Drunk Love. I've seen it. It's a great movie. Absolutely underrated for sure. A conversation came up last night about the bullpen setup to finish games. I thought to myself, isn't it too early to worry about bullpen setup? I don't think so. And I brought up the bullpen a little bit yesterday because everybody was overreacting to Alvarado blowing the save on Sunday. And yeah, it was a terrible performance from him. And he went out there last night and just shut the door, no problem, against the Boston Red Sox. Good 4-1 win on the road. Came out after London. Zach Wheeler, dominant again. Matt Strahm. Dude, can we start a campaign? You're not going to have a middle reliever ever make an all-star team. But can we start a campaign to get Matt Strahm in the All-Star game? The guy's lights out. But to the setup of the bullpen, and it's not. I didn't bring this up yesterday because I think he's a bad closer. I don't think Jose Alvarado is best utilized as the closer. I think you have a higher opportunity for more sporadic blow-ups from Alvarado than anybody else. To me, I am putting Hoffman in the closer role and just letting him stay there and be the Craig Kimbrell till the wheels fall off. I would consider Dominguez and then in that role as well. And then what I would do, Alvarado, 6th, 7th, 8th inning, when you got the 3, 4, 5 hitter up, or you're in a tough situation with 2 on and 1 out, and you need some strikeouts. Rob Thompson is so keen on using Alvarado in the high leverage situations in the playoffs. But in the regular season, he's locking him in as a closer more often than not. And I think Alvarado is more that high leverage situation guy. I think his motions are not meant to be the closer. I don't know. I would rather that. But honestly, anybody that's talking and worrying about the bullpen is overreacting to Sunday's game, and that's it. The bullpen has been as dominant as it can be since the 2nd week of the year, the 3rd week of the year. I mean, it's not a conversation of a concern. And I've put it out there, Jose. If I wanted to rank positions of need before the trade deadline, I might put bullpen. It's not 1. Outfielder is definitely 1. Maybe 2 outfielders is 1 and 2. Catcher now, we have to wait till the surgery is completed today to see the results, whether catcher gets added to that list or not, because I'm not overreacting or underreacting yet to JT Realmuto. Starting pitching and bullpen are further. I'd put a bench left-handed bat, unless you want David Dahl or Weston Wilson or something like that off the bench. Just remember one thing when we're prioritizing what to worry about. Who made the last out of the playoffs last year for the Phillies? It was Jake Cate. He was the pinch hitter used to try to extend the Phillies' game and season last year. Who's going to be that guy that's coming off the bench, game 5 of a playoff, you're down 2-1 in the 9th inning with 2 outs, and you need a pinch hitter to pinch hit for Rojas or Pache? It can't be Dahl. I don't know if I want it to be Clemens. I think Sosa will level off at some point. Sosa's a nice player, but he's not as great as people think he is. I still think outfield 1, maybe a second outfielder 2, maybe. Okay? Maybe a backup catcher, a bench bat. pitching to me is the least concerning issue at this moment. Now in 3-4 weeks, that could totally change. The trade deadlines, we're still a month and a half, 2 months out of the trade deadline. It's a long way away. Yeah. I knew you'd like it's Marchand pronunciation. We needed others to step up, and Schwarber with 2 bombs helped get the others. Yeah. Look, it's June. He just forgot it was June for the first 10 days, and Schwarbs went deep twice yesterday. You got to love it. The next man up mentality, it's not even the next man up mentality, Big Al. I mean, you've got a team littered with all-stars. It's just somebody else has to step up and earn their paycheck. Nick Castellanos has got to be better. Now, here's a question for you. I mean, Trey Turner will be back in a week. That's fine. But is Nick Castellanos till then the right guy in the 2-hole? I would have liked to have seen, I know you can't have lefty to start, and I know it's totally unideal. But Bryce Stott in the 2-hole, if it wasn't lefty, would have been ideal. Maybe you bump Bohm up to the 2-hole. Maybe that gets him out of his funk if it's not an injury, which I'm fearful that Alec Bohm might need a little DL stint here soon. Shit, I just said DL. I haven't said that in ages. My bad. IL. Strahm was throwing some gas in the 8th inning. Matt Strahm has turned himself into an elite setup pitcher. Matt Strahm, to me, is the 08's version of Ryan Madsen. We call him Mad Dog. Matt Strahm's a mad dog. Different styles of pitchers. One's a righty, one's a lefty. But the guy that's just perfect in the 7th or 8th inning. I mean, we're stacked. We're talking Strahm. We're talking Alvarado. We're talking Hoffman, Dominguez. Let's not forget about a Ryan Kirkgreen as well. I mean, we got 5 bullpen right now. Unpopular opinion, the disparity in the NL is so bad that I hope the Phillies aren't sellers this trade season. The Phillies finally have a strong farm system. Keep it growing and don't touch it. Hold on. So you're saying we could be sellers and still win? I think I understand what you're saying here. I think I understand what you're saying. But who are you selling? Nick Castellanos would be the obvious answer, especially if you bring in another outfielder. Oh, okay. I'm trying to justify what you're saying. Then I see meant buyers. Well, the Phillies are definitely buyers. They're going to buy. Dave Dombrowski's best known thing is that he is a buyer. And he hasn't done much of it with the Phillies, but when he was with the Red Sox, when he was with the Tigers, when he was building championship teams elsewhere, he had no problem training prospects. No problem. He will empty out the farm system to go. I'm just making this up out of it. I don't want this guy on the Phillies. But say Mike Trout was available, he would empty the farm system for him if he was what he thought was going to get us a World Series. And remember, prospects are just that, prospects. We traded, I can't count how many prospects between 2007 and 2012 to win a World Series to keep the team relevant, and 98% of those guys became nothing. And almost none of them, I don't think any of them, became anything legit. Did we trade one hot shot, can't miss, untouchable prospect in the last 20 years that became a superstar anywhere? I don't know. J.P. Crawford kind of has been okay at times. That's about it. Kyle Drabeck, nothing. What was the other? We had the baby aces. I can't remember off the top of my head. None of them became anything. Adam Morgan, one of the baby aces, became a half-ass relief pitcher. Lou Marson, Luke Donald. Was it Luke Donald? Donald, he was a second baseman. Michael Taylor. No, I don't know if anybody remembers him. He had 4 at-bats in the major leagues after we traded him to Oakland. I think he was traded for the Joe Blanton. Before we traded him, he was a can't-touch prospect. I think he ended up with 4 at-bats in the majors. It's terrible. So you trade him. You go all in, you trade him. That's what you do. Painter, Abel, and Clausen. Yeah, Painter, everyone's just assuming he's going to be fine after Tommy John surgery. And even if he is, I mean, he won't be even close to ready till next year. Maybe mid-next year at best from Tommy John surgery. Abel, I'm on the fence about. I mean, he's good. Abel's kind of like, there was another guy in our minor league system about 3 to 5 years ago that was like Abel, like the second best pitcher in our minor leagues. and he never really turned. We kept waiting, and then he turned into nothing. I guess Carlos Carrasco would probably be the biggest name that actually had a decent career after we traded him as a prospect. He had already started some games for the Phillies. Absolutely. They might go shopping for 2 bets, honestly. Honestly speaking. I mean, Rojas and Pache. Pache's a fringe player, in my opinion. He's good. Pache's a good player on a bad team. On a team that wants to win a World Series this year, let's be honest. The Phillies don't just want to win the World Series. They should be expected to win the World Series or at least get to the World Series this year. Rojas he's so young. And I always say it, like, can you really risk developing players while you're trying to win a title? And you're developing him while you're trying to win a title this year, but you're trying to win a title. So it's really tough. It's the Rojas argument or conversation is similar to like Isaiah Joe or Joe Bassi with the Sixers. Everybody wanted Doc Rivers to play these guys, but he was trying to get past the second round. And you didn't have room to develop them and win basketball games. Do you have room to develop Rojas and still win? Well, everybody thinks we need an outfielder. Right now, you got 3-4 outfielders. When Marsh comes back 5, that none of them. Marsh is your best outfielder right now, and I'm a Brandon Marsh fan, but it's not saying good things when Brandon Marsh is your best outfielder. That's all. I am too. Phillies don't have a single 300 hitter at the moment. That is correct. Alec Bohm has dropped below it. A couple guys are trending up. A couple guys are trending down. I get that. Their pitching has underratedly been way more of a factor carrying this team than the offense. And we have a big run differential, runs scored versus runs given up. And a lot of that, I think, is because of the pitching, K1. You can win. If you've got a bunch of guys hitting 280, 290, that's fine. Bryce Harper's trending in the right direction. Maybe he'll get close to 300. I saw somebody do it, multiply his numbers out over the rest of the season. And if he keeps up his pace, he'll probably be in the top 3 of MVP voting this year. But yeah, 300 hitter would be nice. That would be Trey Turner when he comes back. I think he was hitting way over 300 when he went down. So hopefully he comes back healthy and still swinging the hot bat. Spencer Howard was a complete and total bust. You got to start getting into baseball, Deeves, and doing prospect videos like you do for draft prospects for football and basketball. You got to do some Phillies prospect videos. That's what you got to do. I can help you with that, maybe. But Spencer Howard, I mean, go figure, he's still a bust, and he pitched against us a couple weeks ago and pitched 4 shutout innings. Brett, the physical therapist, is in the house. All right, so I know, Brett, that there's no way to tell what the recovery time for JT Realmuto is going to be until the surgeon comes out after the surgery and says, this is what we did. But in the comments, give me your thoughts on, depending on what is done, the lingering effects. Like when JT Realmuto comes back, 4 weeks, 2 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever it may be. When he comes back, how long is it going to take his knee to get back to that quick pop to throw a guy out at second, to be one of the faster catchers in baseball? The long-term recovery versus the short-term getting on the field recovery, what the knee injury could mean long-term for JT Realmuto. I was listening to something last night, I forget who, but someone was telling me that these kind of surgeries can start a degenerative effect on the knee long-term in life. So just thoughts on that in the comments. Good morning, Joe. What's up? For Logan, yeah, I wish we still had Logan Hot. Me too. I gotcha. I don't know. I haven't kept up on him this year. Is he having a good season? Is he a regular catcher in LA with the Angels? I don't know. Trey's batting 343. Yeah, that's sick. That's sick. All the time with the new house, and that's the best design for the office. You don't like this? You don't like this? I love this. I love it. I got lots of Philly stuff. I got my Jimmy Buffett stuff up. Got some bobbleheads up there. I got lots of stuff up. I got my It's 5 o'clock somewhere stuff right there. All my Phillies favorites. I got my Widener University. I wanted to hang up my diploma, but I couldn't find it. Everybody hangs their diploma. I don't know why, but people do. You can't have an entire outfield hitting 230 expect to win a World Series. I think it's fair, and that's why the Phillies' number one target, Dave Dombrowski shouldn't be waiting for the trade deadline to go out and get an outfielder. Dave Dombrowski should work in the phones today, not to get another catcher, but to get an outfielder right now. He should be trying to bring in. There's 2-3 elite outfield guys out there that are available right now that can make a drastic impact on this team. Go out and make those moves now. Now, let me tell you something. Every prospect is on the table. Every prospect is on the table for the right person, including Andrew Painter. I want another title. I don't want to wait another, first title in 08 or in 80. I wasn't even born yet. I was born 2 months later, 3 months later. 08. I don't want to wait till 2036 for another title. I want that next title right now. And this team should win a World Series. At the very least, be in the World Series again. You go out and get that outfielder right now. That's what you do. Dude, I need some Z's right now, really bad. I made shorts on the top 10 Phillies prospects months ago. That's probably all I'll do. No one really cares about No, I don't want you to talk about the draft. Who cares about the draft? I didn't see your Phillies prospect thing. Must have missed that. But I'll have to go check them out. Hypothetical, best of 7. Who are you putting in the rotation, Sanchez or Walker? Sanchez. I mean, Jose, I don't think that's a hypothetical. I think as it stands right now, Taijuan Walker wasn't in the rotation last playoffs. There is zero chance Taijuan Walker sniffs the playoff rotation, probably the playoff roster again this year. But on the flip side, I think outfielder is 1,000 times more important to improve than replacing Taijuan Walker. If your fifth starter gives you 5 or 6 innings, gives up 3 or 4 runs on any given night, his last outing. I know we lost the game. He pitched on Sunday, not Saturday. Yeah, Sunday. But he pitched 5 2/3. He probably got pulled too soon. Only gave up 2 runs. He didn't look great. But for a fifth starter on a team that's got Zach Wheeler, Ranger Suarez, and Aaron Nola, and Chris Sanchez, 4 guys in the top 20 of Cy Young betting odds right now, you don't have to worry about Taijuan Walker come playoff time. He won't even be part of the 26 come playoff time. If they get the right spot that is torn, the pain should go away immediately. They have to build up his knee strength and stability, which could take 4 to 6 weeks without issues. But then if just so hypothetically, he takes 4 to 6 weeks, builds the knee strength up, there should be no lingering effects is what you're saying. If it's fixed properly. Because that's what I'm concerned always about. It's knees and hamstrings. They linger, the problems. And JT's a tough guy. He could play through a little lingering pain. But you don't want that. You want that pop time to still be there. You want that him beating out ground balls for double plays. Excuse me. Allergies are killer today, as always this summer. In Major League Baseball, once more, Black Americans in the league, they have to start funding Little League Baseball in the inner cities. That's what Hispanic. This is totally out of left field, mister. But I agree 1,000% that baseball is a dying sport in the Little League levels to an extent. Like I'm just going to tell you, and I don't know much about, why there's not more Black Americans playing baseball as a young kids, or, everybody wants to be, the next Michael or the next, LeBron James right now. Everybody wants to be the next Patrick Mahomes or Tyreek Hill, whatever. I think what Major League Baseball needs to do is promote their stars better, whether it's on YouTube. So here's the thing. My nephew, he's 8. Actually, I didn't hear from him last night. His Little League, he was in the championship game last night. Turned himself into a pretty damn good pitcher for an 8-year-old. He's the only one on his team that's allowed to pitch on the mound. But last year, he wasn't even playing at 7 in Little League Baseball. He had no desire to play Little League Baseball. He would spend 3 hours a day, Connor, in the driveway shooting hoops, practicing his James Harden step-back fadeaway because he sees James Harden videos on YouTube nonstop. Okay? The only reason why he played Little League was mid-season. His neighbor across the street, his team in the middle of the season, was 1 player short to even field a 9-kid roster for a game. So yo, Connor, you got a glove? He's like, yeah, I got a glove. Come be on our team for the night. And he had fun with it. He enjoyed being there and the camaraderie and all. But he only started playing baseball because the local Little League in my town, which isn't even a major, let me say, it's not Kennett Square is not a hugely diverse when it comes to Black Americans. It's more Mexican Americans, Hispanic Americans, and Caucasians. Okay, you would think baseball and Little League would be jam packed. They couldn't field a team of 9 players. That's how bad the game is growing, how negatively growing it is in America right now, and it's a problem. If I had a kid, I'd want him playing baseball. Turn him into a left-handed reliever, and I would be set for life. That will get him back to being able to play and get in the field, building his knee back up. Will probably take 8 to 10 weeks. Okay, all right, I got it. So I mean, it might not be a long term. There's a solid chance by August 1st that he's back to regular all-star level JT Realmuto. Logan Hoppy, 56 games played, 270 average, 20. Oh, wow, that's pretty solid for a young kid. I like it. I mean, that means he's pretty much their everyday catcher, 56 games. We're about 65, 70 games into the season now. That's pretty damn good. Joe, thanks for the deep stat research. I'd hold off on Miller. Other than that, anyone can go if it's the best player coming back. Absolutely. And Aiden Miller, I know they just promote him to high A, the Blue Claws. And Tim, I know it's an unpopular opinion. I said it last year on this show when I was still with you guys over there. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Andrew Painter is tradable for the right person. I got crushed because I said last year I was willing to trade Andrew Painter for Ohtani without even getting a guarantee of a contract extension. Now, I wasn't going to offer much more than Painter if I didn't get that extension from him. But Andrew Painter is available for an elite outfielder, 1,000%. Zach Wheeler's going to be here for the next 3 years. Aaron Nola just signed a 7-year contract, or maybe Wheeler's like 5 years. Nola for the next 7. Ranger Suarez is still pretty young, so should be around a while. Chris Sanchez, we don't know if he's going to keep up at this pace long term, but he's pretty young. I mean, Andrew Painter's expendable at this moment if it means getting a World Series trophy in the city. What's the best Jimmy Buffett song, and why is it Pirate Looks? Oh, man. Dude, I could do a 90-minute show on every Jimmy Buffett song. It just depends on what mood I'm in and what version of the song. Pirate Looks at 40 is a top 5, no doubt about it. His live Key West duet of Migration from about 2007 is elite. Something About a Dog, it's a really depressing story, was the song I heard as I was pulling into the driveway of my home years ago in 2020 when we had to put down. It's something about a boat. I call it Something About a Dog, which is one of the verses on it. As I'm pulling into my driveway, the verse from Something About a Boat, about a dog sitting by my side. If I've had a bad day, she ain't going to run and hide. Just a wag of that tail, a grin of that grin. Something About a Dog makes her my best friend. That's always up there. His last song he gave us, as my tattoo upside down shows, was probably his greatest gift, Bubbles Up. If you have not listened to Bubbles Up, really listen to the words or just go read the lyrics. It's really emotionally, intense song. It really can help people through dark times. So it's almost impossible to write a top song list of Jimmy Buffett, but I can talk about them all because there's meaning to them all. I used to hate Jimmy Buffett. I was a karaoke host when I was young, and I was just tired of hearing people sing Margaritaville and me having to go salt, salt, salt to the crowd. I hated it. But then I started listening to him. And I started realizing he's more of a poet than a singer. And some of his songs that he's written and other people have written for him, they're so deep. I'm a huge Jimmy Buffett guy. Does increase incidence of arthritis as the cushion has been removed? I'm not even going to try to say I'm going to try to say meniscatum. I'm not going to try to say it. But if he is having this surgery, it's the outer part. So arthritis does increase during his career. So long term, this could be a problem. We've got him under contract for a few more years. So this is something I've read, Brett. Something similar to this, and I heard somebody talking about it last night on a show. This concerns me right here. Maybe they were talking about it during the Phillies broadcast. That is, if he doesn't re-injure his knee, but the surgery doesn't affect stability of the knee. So just normal wear and tear from being a catcher. We might come a day where he's got to be a DH or a first baseman. which then says, what do you do with Bryce Harper? It's cost associated with playing baseball anymore. Gloves, cleats, bats, etc. all cost tons of money. Basketball, you need a ball. That's the difference. Yeah, it's also the promotion of the game. I mean, Mike Trout is the best baseball player in the universe when healthy, before Ohtani came over, okay? But I bet you if you showed a random picture in street clothes of Mike Trout to 1,000 kids, 500 of them would have no clue who he is because they don't promote him. It's not in commercials. Major League Baseball's not promoting highlight videos all over. Television broadcasts don't have their, you don't have web gems anymore. This Baseball Tonight's been canceled, hasn't it? Like, they don't promote the sport enough. So nothing to get the kids excited. Baseball cards are dying. I don't disagree with you, K1. You got to be a diehard. Your team's got to be really good. Nobody cares about baseball anymore. I agree. Phil says it's knee and hamstring injuries that linger. Rubs his knee. Yeah, dude, I don't have much of a right knee. When I broke my leg, they mounted the metal rod that holds my leg together into my kneecap. And so there's my kneecap, metal rod, 2 screws going through it. My kneecap hurts just as much as my leg hurts on a daily basis. Just so you know. Yeah. There is a cost factor. For sure. For sure. Good morning, Philadelphia. I like that. It's hard to get kids excited about baseball. The only sport where you can play an entire game and not see it. Dude, so when I saw my nephew play his first game last year, and he only been playing 2 games at that point, I think, or 3 games. I'm there, and he was put in the outfield because he had no idea what he was doing yet. Put in the outfield, and I'm sitting there chit-chatting with somebody. Maybe it was my sister-in-law, I don't know, there, while the game was going on. I look out at him, and my nephew is sitting with his back to the plate, Indian style, in the outfield, looking off into the parking lot, just twiddling his thumb. I'm like, yo, Goddard, stand up. And he just looked at me and laughed. Like, he was so uninterested that he was sitting Indian style back to the field. I mean, he was 7, too. He will probably be back to normal levels defensively, making sure his swing doesn't change with whatever symptoms he has. Yeah, there's lingering issues that I'm concerned about. Baseball fields cost money to buy and maintain, I know. That's why I stopped sponsoring our local Little League teams, just to sponsor a team, just to have your name put on a jersey. They want $1,000 now. Why? Because it costs a lot of money to maintain these leagues. No offense. $1,000 to put a name on a jersey just ain't worth it. What up? Let's dive deep. Let's see if anybody remembers this. It's Wednesday. That means it's What Up Wednesday. If you remember that one. It's What Up. What up, TMZ? It's What Up Wednesday. I hope Mike Trout buys that stake in the Eagles that Jeffrey Lurie's selling. I don't want Mike Trout in the Phillies. He's not even a Phillies fan. He's not even a Philly guy. From like mid-Jersey or something like that. He just likes the Eagles. Mike Trout, he's the greatest. He could be. Mike Trout could have been the greatest baseball player of all time if he didn't have injury issues. I went to St. Thomas for my honeymoon and ate a Skinny Legos restaurant with cheeseburger. There you go. There you go. I've been to St. Thomas probably about 75 times in my life. That's the life of a cruise ship worker. I used to play mahogany run golf, and there was a little dive bar not far from the cruise ship terminals that cater to crew members on cruise ships. $1 Miller Lights, $5. It was a great place. I forget what it was called. I think it was called the Shipwreck or something like that. I might have a shirt from there somewhere. Gatekeeping has come to a what? I'm always the gatekeeper. Why? Because I'm talking baseball. TMZ's not happy. Southern Cross is a fantastic cover. Here's a question: Southern Cross or his cover of Scarlet Begonias? We'll throw that in there because Jimmy Buffett's Scarlet Begonias is better than what's his name, Scarlet Begonias. Just gonna say. Stop! Don't even put that in my comments. Jimmy Buffett has a lot more than one. Yeah, he's coming in like a troll today. I have daughters. Little Miss Magic is my favorite. You can't go wrong there either. We got to pause in these comments for a second because we are already 45 minutes in. I didn't expect baseball talk to go this long, so I haven't read off any of our great sponsors, and I want to do that. And I want to talk about cherrytickets.com. Great moments that just happened. They happen with you in the crowd. The Coral Reefers are doing a couple shows this summer, so keep an eye on cherrytickets.com if you want to go see the Coral Reefers do tributes across the country. They've only released 3 dates in August. Alabama, Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, and Cincinnati, Ohio. But I'm sure they'll do more than 3 this summer. So keep an eye on cherrytickets.com because not only they're great for sporting events, but they do concert and theater tickets as well. They have no hidden fees. The price you see is the price you pay. And then you could save 10% extra EOP10 at checkout by using our promo code. You need a more personal touch. Call them 610-494-5050. Just make sure you let them know you heard about them right here on Trending the AM on Edge of Philly Sports. Again, that's SherryTickets.com. Promo code EOP10, 610-494-5050. And also, of course, check out our great friends at PhillySportsTrips.com. They are the premier travel team for travel and tailgating team for you to see your favorite Philadelphia sports team. They offer full travel packages, self-travel packages, tailgate experiences for all your Philly teams. Phillies, Eagles, Sixers, Flyers, Union, you name it. They got this thing here, August 14th, the Italian Heritage Celebration at the bank. That should be a fun day. It might be too late for you, but they have a great trip out to Chicago to see the Phillies take on the Cubs. Obviously, they're already taking deposits for spring training next year. I'm going to beg the wife to maybe do a spring training trip next year. Haven't been to one since 2020, since pre-COVID. Would love to have been to Clearwater many times since then, but not for spring training. Check them out. And, of course, they've got the great trip to Brazil to see our Eagles take on the Green Bay Packers week 1 in the NFL season, August 30th through September 8th. PhillySportsTrips.com. Make sure you sign up. Make sure you tell them Train the AM EOP sent you. And back to the 300 comments that I'm behind on now. Muffler Mike. Don't let JT's injury keep you from going to Villanova Stadium this Saturday and Sunday for the Wooder Dogs, the PLL homecoming. There you go. The Wooder Dogs. What's their record, Muffler Mike? What's their record? I mean, I know they had one game. I don't know how many other games they've had so far. I don't know how many games are in a PLL season. 12:30 versus Boston Cannons and the Maryland Whip Snakes. What the hell is a whip snake? I was about to say whippersnapper. Whip snake. What the hell is a whip snake? So in other words, he's getting them Lenny Dykstra knees. He's getting more like the Darren Dalton knees. Darren Dalton knees were shot. JT is 33-year-old catcher. I don't think he's going to play that position for the one. Yeah, I agree. If you want to keep his bat at an all-star level, eventually. So we're going to have a JT position question. I'm writing this down because I think there's a great Twitter thread. What position he plays in 2 years. I think that's a great comment right there. But with Bryce Harper being at first, not going back to the outfield, one's going to have to DH, one's going to have to be a first baseman in a year or two. Or you're going to have to rotate them, I guess. Means we also need a catcher down the line. Throwing 100-mile pitches like nobody in the business. Is that sustainable? I don't know. Indian style. What? I don't know what that is. They ain't going to hit to outfield. What? Stop. I thought the NL was more exciting when they didn't have a DH. I agree. Before the shift, et cetera. Yeah, look. There's a lot of rules they've changed to try to. The baseball, I'll give them credit. They're trying to make the game more fan-friendly with the shift, the DH, with the pitch clock, et cetera. But it doesn't mean they're promoting the teams and the players right. I bet you if you showed me a picture of every person that makes the All-Star team this year, I could not name every single person based off their face. And we're talking about All-Stars here. Okay? I guarantee you, if once the All-Star team is nominated, you put a screenshot of every player up there without their names, I wouldn't be able to name them all without Google searching. I'm just telling you. It's because they don't promote their players well enough. He wasn't bored. It was a mind game. Was it? Yeah. Connor's into the mind games. Right. Good morning. What's up? How you doing, Eric? How are you today? It's What Up Wednesday. It's cross stick applesauce now. It's crisscross applesauce. That's what it is. Yes, I am the gatekeeper. St. Thomas is amazing. The tiki bar in the parking lot near the ferry that takes you to St. Absolutely. I would just go there and hang out at the tiki bar. I would. Absolutely. The golf is super awesome, too. Mahogany Run is a fantastic Caribbean resort-style golf course. The Devil's Triangle is there. It's the greatest 3-hole stretch of golf I've ever played, and I've played a lot of golf in my life. Mets just designated their catcher. Which one, Mike? Nida? Maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe. You definitely need another catcher. Marshawn is not the answer, Mike. And Stubbs can't play more than 3 or 4 games a week, in my opinion. The Dominican Republic keeps beautiful baseball fields for their little leagues. Yeah, absolutely. Baseball, and that's the thing. I talked about this last week before the London series, Mister. That baseball should be doing these international games instead of going to London and having 40,000 Philly fans fly over there and not really grow the game to Londoners. Go put a game on in the Dominican Republic. Find a way to do a game in Cuba. Go find a way to do a game in I'm trying to think of other countries that Puerto Rico. Do a game, in places that actually care about it. We do that series to start the year every year in South Korea or Japan, wherever. Do more of that. Go grow the game in countries that actually care. Go reward those cities and countries that care and produce great baseball players for Major League Baseball. Give their fans a taste of Major League Baseball. Stop. Who cares? Trout was born in Vineland, which is South Jersey. I thought he lived in like Middle Jersey or something that most of his life. I could be wrong there. He was never a Phillies fan growing up, though, from what I understand. Whose kids thinks could mow. They moved him to shortstop. What? Mafia Appreciation Day. What? Is it? Is it? Interesting. Spitting live reads. I'm mastering the ad read right now. Water Dogs are 0-1. Regular season is 10 games, and they had 1 game 2 weeks ago, and then I have 2 games this weekend. If I'm just asking if I got that right, something doesn't seem right about that schedule. The schedule makers screwed the Water Dogs. We're just going to say that. So what position did I play? Well, first off, let me rephrase. Let me cut you off here. I wasn't very good when I played, and I tried out. I stopped before my freshman year of baseball started. Like I was tried out and just like screw this. I'm not good. I couldn't hit worth a lick. I wanted to be a third baseman because of Mike Schmidt. I always got put at shortstop and the outfield because I can't. The one thing I could do was throw a baseball, not off a pitcher's mound, but anywhere. I had a cannon of an arm, and I had a really good glove too, so I could catch the ball and I could throw it really, really well. The problem is, you could put the ball on a tee, and I would swing and miss it. I'm not being sarcastic. I literally would swing and miss if the ball was teed up on a tee. I just couldn't do it. So I knew I wasn't going anywhere, so I just stopped playing baseball. But I still love it. Mike Tyson ain't fine. It got postponed to November, I believe. They need to bring back the Chicks Dig the Lawn. Dude, the Chicks Dig the Lawn. It was Greg Maddux and Tom Glavine with Mark McGuire and I forget who else walking by. Fantastic. See, that's what you need. Does This Week in Baseball still happen? Let's promote This Week in Baseball. Let's bring it back. Let's bring back baseball tonight. It's summertime. Kids are home from school. Do a 6 o'clock baseball tonight. Chicks Ding the Long Ball was a fantastic commercial. It promoted Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, and the sport. It promoted your stars and the support well. Last night, we spent 35 minutes straight talking about what to do with Scotty Scheffler. And there was 4 of us, Jason and I. We had Stevie from the Attacking Third and our friend Elise, who's a great golf betting analyst, on the show. And we couldn't come to an agreement on what to do with Scotty Scheffler. Scotty Scheffler's probably going to win. So you got to find other ways to get your money, because at 3-1, it's not a really valuable bet right there. But probably Scotty Scheffler wins. Yeah, I don't know how Scotty Scheffler doesn't win. How can the MLB promote their players when none of them speak English? I think that's a fair question, mister. A fair comment. Okay? Fair comment right there. I dated a girl in high school. We referred as the Devil's Triangle. She got gossip. I just thought about, never mind. I want to make a dirty joke here, Big Al, about her Devil's Triangle. But I'll just leave it at that. Yeah. I'm not even going to get in on this one right here. But the golf course's Devil's Triangle was the toughest 3 holes I've ever played. On national level, the Phillies are finally getting the recognition they deserve. Jose, they are. And that is a good thing. Not Christian Bazudin Hoot, but I do like Christian Bazudin Hoot as a daily fantasy golf play this week. 6,200 on DraftKings. Great play. The guy's in the top 12 of the FedEx Cup standings right now. Great play for golf, fantasy-wise, this week. Reminds me of when Jason Kelsey couldn't make a lot of head coaches during the picture. They take it to yearly meetings. Oh, okay, I get what you're saying, because he couldn't name who they were. Gotcha. Same thing with baseball. I can't tell you who some of these guys are. I love him. I'm 5 minutes behind. I know. I so am. We have literally. I wrote down a list of things to talk about today. But I didn't think you guys would fall into this Phillies conversation, and we're almost an hour in, which is great because now I got things to talk about tomorrow, and I still got to catch up comments. Coach your nephew, my brother is one of the coaches on the team. I don't have the time to be there every single day for practice and games, but I have offered that next year if my brother wants help as a part-time assistant coach, I'll help him out occasionally. Scotty is the obvious pick, but just can't believe he is on this run. Uh, I would say Martin Keimer is an interesting bet to make the cut. He obviously dominated this course in 2014, and he's only played in one PGA Tour event this year, the PGA Championship, and he made the cut. So he knows his way around the course. He's in, for his standards, okay form. Maybe if you can get like a 5-1 or a 7-1 on him making the cut, Martin Keimer, maybe you throw a shekel down. Lived in Millville, which was also South Jersey. Shame he didn't like the Phillies. Yeah. All right. So he didn't like the Phillies. My geography was wrong though. I played catcher always. Fun to be in charge of pitchers in the games. Yeah. I couldn't really do it. Now with my knee, I could never catch. Agreed. Phil will go for the long odds player because Scotty won't pay well, even if he wins. Look, the thing is, it's not that. I don't think there's, if you either have to put all your betting money all on Scotty Scheffler or find other bets. So this week, I went with a couple top 10 bets, Rory, and I forget off the top of my head. My other one of them was Rory and Xander top 10 bets, and then I did a top 20 parlay. I picked 3 golfers, Bryson, Brooks, and Fleetwood, all to finish in the top 20. Parlayed them, got almost 9-1 on that. There's a little bit more value in your money with those bets than Scotty to win or not, basically. PLL teams get one bye weekend and one homecoming weekend where they play 2 games, building the fan bases and showing hometown support. Gotcha. So at least there's a theory behind it. Yeah, bring steroids back. Honestly, you want to save the game of baseball? You want it to become bigger in America? Don't ban steroids. It was peak baseball. It really was. It was pretty amazing time to be a baseball fan, and we all turned a blind eye to it. You can always translate via AI now. Yeah, that's true. Google Translate. I mean, I don't speak Spanish. 55% of my customer base is Spanish at my pizza shop. You just whip out old Google Translate on your phone. You either talk into it or you type it and you communicate. It's doable. So the biggest baseball players speak English, Harper and Judge. Yeah, and Harper is one of the biggest players. He's got a bigger personality than Judge. Bryce Harper should be on billboards everywhere. He should be all over. His highlight reel of him doing the the soccer slide after his home run should have been front page of every baseball website, YouTube page, everything, promoting the game. They need to start a professional miniature golf league. I would be the Tiger Woods of that mini golf league. Gosh, there is an actual professional mini golf league. I saw a video of it a while back on YouTube, on Reels or something like that. I think like the championship, it's like $25,000 or $50,000 to the winner of the mini golf, like U.S. Open or whatever they call it. Did we touch on Hurt's silly comment? Yeah, dude. We've touched on it all week, and I've got more comments on it. Duck, and I wanted to touch on John Kincaid's comments on it, but you want to, talk about how stupid everyone is. I want to give a special shout out. He's been on the show many a times. Martin Frank of the Delaware News Journal. He put it out an article. I saw it this morning. I don't know if he wrote it yesterday or today. About how silly everyone else's takes are on it. And he gives specific examples of why it's silly. It's just who Jalen Hurts is. He doesn't talk. And how he went to the school. Like, I didn't even know this. Nick Saban makes his players take a class on how to handle the media and not stir up controversy. So he basically just mastered Nick Saban's class, and that's all he does. People are just coming up with, instead of talking about this, I think either WWWIP or the fanny packs are talking about Jalen Hurts this morning. Is he the right fit for the Eagles or whatever their poll question of the day was? Instead of, look, we've had a fun show. We're an hour in, and we started off with JT Realmuto's injury, and I'm 5 minutes behind on comments. And we have not gone with a silly, stupid, lazy narrative today. We could, but we didn't. Yeah. Just fade Patrick Cantley. Absolutely. Cantley's fallen off big time, in my opinion. If I played baseball, I'd either be a small forward or a middle. Yeah. Yeah. Is that it? He speaks what? I don't even know. I'm missing that joke. I'm missing that. Harper's a Philly guy and doesn't. Yeah, that's true. It's a Philly thing. Like my shirt says, Tim. It's a Philly thing, man. It's a Philly thing. They hate us, and we care. There's more home runs now than there was in the mid '90s. I think it just got too granular with stats, which has I think the over analytics, the FWIRPTC one plus, and the WAZYNTQ, all these random stats they come up with has ruined the fun of it. Yeah, hot takes on. My wife asked me what AI was last night. I'm like, what? We're caught up on comments now. How about that? Since we're caught up on comments, I don't have to worry about getting a call from David Archeri that I'm being sued for being 5 minutes behind on comments. If you've been hurt at work or in a motor vehicle accident, personal injury, or affected by criminal law, call David Archeri, the Cherry Law Firm. He's here to fight for you and get you what you deserve. Cherry Injury Law is a dedicated, well-established personal injury law firm built on the promise of aiding the seriously injured throughout the state of Pennsylvania. Give them a call, 610-565-0300, or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Remember, let David Archeri fight for your rights. Again, 610-565-0300, cherryinjurylaw.com, and make sure you let him know. Trending in the AM, Edge of Philly is where you heard his name and why you're calling. Also, make sure you check out our friends at Dolan's Bar, dolansbar.com. For 65-plus years, they have been the quintessential Irish-American dive bar in Delaware County, right in my home backyard where I grew up, 24 East Sellers Avenue, Ridley Park. Great food, great times, great music, great trip, great everything. Go check him out. Go tell PJ you heard about him right here on Training the AM on Edge of Philly Sports, and tell him you want him to open up at 8 a.m. one day so he can do a live, on-location, Dolan's Bar, Edge of Philly, make it a whole day affair. DolansBar.com, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, wherever you can find them, guys. Dolan's Bar, Ridley Park. Guys, that's that. And now I got to go. I'm not looking at the comments because I had put up the ad read page. Let me go back to the comments. It says I got 12 missed messages. I'm assuming 11 of the 12 are cherry bombs. And like that, there are quite a few cherry bombs. Phil misses more jokes than Whip. Yeah. Dude, you got to understand something, K1. I'm reading. Yesterday, I had to read through 300-plus comments. You guys are slack. We're only at 114 comments today. I got to read all these comments. I got to keep an eye on the timer to read ads. I got to bounce around with topics. I got my notepad in front of me. I got to get sips of my espresso in. My brain can only move 1,000 miles an hour. I can't move at 2,000 miles an hour and catch every single joke. I do bat 176, when it comes to catching jokes. But when I catch one, nobody caught my "What up Wednesday" comment. So you guys missed the comments too. What up? What up, K1? What up, Duck? What up, Mace? What up, Bruno? Okay, let me make it more. Harper doesn't speak English. He speaks American. Okay, gotcha. There we go. Cherry bomb comments flowing in. I'm just going to show one because I'm the gatekeeper. JT better call David Archeri for being injured on the job. That's right. He needs representation for his workers' comp claim. David Archeri could probably help JT there. But I'm pretty sure John Middleton's got that taken care of. John Middleton could probably, has more of a budget than JT to fight it in court. Did you ever see the Ask AI commercial with Iverson? It was hilarious. No, I did not. Send me that. I asked you to send me a link to something yesterday, and I don't remember what it was, and you never did. Send me a link in Messenger, Eric, about that commercial. I'd like to see that. And then we've got some 4-leaf clovers and 3-leaf clovers. I'm talking with my wife. I'm taking my wife out to a nice dinner tonight, so I don't have to call Dave Archeri. Yeah, is that right? On the notes of keeping your wives happy. Funny story. I know you guys don't like golf, but Rory McIlroy announced 2 weeks ago that he was divorcing his wife. Then 13 days ago, he was in a relationship with Amanda Balasanos, or however you say her name, the announcer chick for golf. Very good-looking woman. They were spotted in public together. And literally, within 2 weeks of the divorce being filed, him being public with Amanda, he's already back together with his wife. So I guess his wife's like, go have your hall pass. Go have a couple days of fun with Amanda, and then come back home. And they're back home. I don't know if my wife would let me file for divorce, go spend some time with some hot chick, and then come home 2 weeks later. Like, I don't know. It's kind of funny. Maybe David Archeri intervened there a little bit. Maybe David Archeri doubles as a marriage counselor. That's right. Guys, you're watching Trend in the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. I guarantee not enough people have hit that like button, subscribe button, share button today. Please hit those buttons. Help build the algorithm, help build the channel, help build the show. Because Edge of Philly Sports 7-day-a-week programming, guys. Hit those like buttons, help grow this channel, guys. I greatly appreciate it, guys. I really would. That's right. Remember Frank Thomas commercials in the 90s? He used to run over catchers at home plate. All I remember are the Frank Thomas, I forget what the pill is. He pumps that testosterone pill with Doug Flutie. And she'll like it too. Yeah. And then the girl gets all jealous and blushes and whatnot. Like, that's all. I don't remember the Frank Thomas commercials from the 90s because in my mind, all I can think of are the current Big Hurt commercials pumping testosterone pills for men. Golf clap. Yeah. I think someone's wife realized she likes her lifestyle. It could have been his wife saying, you can just have a monthly hall pass with Amanda if you want. Just keep that money. Because there was a prenup signed, and I heard about that, just so you know. And Rory's money is probably protected by that prenup, just so you know. Well, Rory got a little too up close and personal with those interviews. Yeah. Did you see the awkward look when she interviewed him at the Memorial, K1? There's like this awkward tension between them. And because this just came out yesterday, he had probably had his week-long fling with her, already broken it off with her and told her he was going back to his wife. And she still had to interview him on the broadcast. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There was a little awkward tension. And now that this news came out, I mean, it kind of explains why there was a little awkward tension between the two. And she liked the pool boy like that the lifestyle brings. Yeah. And absolutely. Rory consulted David Archeri. That was not that funny that you're mic dropping on that. No. Not at all, guys. But like I said, when Eric said, hit that like button, guys, please hit that like button. Because again, Edge of Philly Sports is a 7-day-week channel. And there's a special thing coming up on June 23rd over at Irish Rover Station House in Langhorne. Chet and the crew of Philly Press Box Radio are going to be celebrating their 500th episode on June 23rd at 1:30 live from the bar 1033 South Bellevue Avenue in Langhorne, PA. They're going to have 3 Flyers legends, Joe Watson, Lou Nolan, and announcer Jim Jackson. Jim Jackson doesn't get the credit in Philly because of Merrill Reese, because of Harry Callis, because of Mark Zumoff. Jim Jackson doesn't get the credit, and he's a legend in my mind in hockey announcing right there. Fantastic, and he's good at baseball talk too. So check him out, Philly Press Box Radio, and just even if you can't go to the event, make sure you tune in live, and make sure you just congratulate Chet and the crew. They go live Wednesday nights normally. They'll be live tonight, most likely. So, guys, check them out. Philly Press Box Radio. They're 500 episodes. If you hit the subscribe button on this channel, if you hit the bell that turns the notifications on, you'll never miss it. It's huge to help us out like that. Those things help massively, guys. Core 12. Do we drop the Clover bombs for the Irish Station House? It's Irish Rover Station House, first off. I don't know. I don't know about that one. You already dropped the Clover for the Dolan's bar read. I say you got to come up with something else. Drop a hockey stick for that read, because it's going to be a big hockey show with all those Flyers legends on it. I think a hockey stick or a hockey puck would be best. Maybe some eyes, because you're watching it. You know, something like that. I don't know. You got to do something. You can't double up on the 4-leaf clovers, guys. You just can't. You got to do something different. Anyway, we got 20 minutes left in the show here today. So, a couple things I want to throw out there. Okay, obviously, recapping the JT Realmuto injury. He's injured 4 to 6 weeks probably. Is ideal for this situation. It's fine. I'm not worried. Okay, but depending on what happens today with the surgery, whether we need to address it. The Phillies did win last night 4-1. Zach Wheeler, another 7 innings, 1 run. ERA down to 2.16. Man, it's going to be so hard to decide. The Phillies have so many great pitchers. I kind of feel like it's going to be tough to see who is going to be. Like, I kind of feel like all the Phillies pitchers will steal votes from each other. But last night's win did put us 10 games up over the Braves in the National League East. I mean, running away with it. Running away with it. And you got to love to see it. They do play the Red Sox again tonight. Tonight is a Christopher Sanchez start against our own old friend, Nicky Pivetta. Nicky Sixpack. Nick Pivetta is actually doing pretty solid for the Red Sox since he left Philly. But Christopher Sanchez is doing well as well. So we'll be seeing. Something that really stands out about Nick Pivetta. I remember him striking out a lot of guys here in Philly. But I also remember him walking a lot of guys. He's got a .94 whip this year for the Red Sox. Something there. 51 strikeouts in 42 innings, but only 31 hits and only walked 9 batters in 42 innings. It's pretty good there for him. So Nick Pivetta against Chris Sanchez. Phillies are the favorite in the game tonight. We'll see how that goes. But I think that's interesting right there as well. Also tonight, you've got Game 3 of the NBA Finals. And I think the NBA, we talk about baseball and how it's a dying sport. The NBA Finals, if you are not an NBA enthusiast or if your two teams aren't in it, kills itself every year. Game 1 of the NBA Finals was Thursday night last week. Then they got Friday and Saturday off, had a Sunday game. And then Monday and Tuesday off for Wednesday. Is there really a need to have 2 days off in between every single NBA Finals game? Like, seriously, guys. What are we doing here? Not only have the Mavericks fallen behind 2-0, they're favored tonight by 2.5 points, I think it is. So they pretty much backed themselves up against a wall, the Mavericks. But as a guy that's in a depressing mode as a Sixers fan, the Celtics are probably going to win this series now. And there's been 2 games in the last 6 days. I could care less. And this is after they had a 6-day break after the championship round ended. Eastern Conference and Western Conference Finals ended. And there was like 6 days off. There's literally been 2 basketball games in the last 2 weeks. I have no interest in it. I'll probably put season 2 of Jack Ryan on tonight when we get home from work. We'll probably bang out 2 episodes of it. We just started season 2 of Jack Ryan. Excellent. I love CIA spy stuff. I love Jack Ryan movies, TV shows, books, everything. I love that kind of stuff. That'll be what I'll be watching. Why? Because if they would have just gone every other day and maybe started right after the conference final started, maybe a 2-day break or something like that, my attention would have been kept. But my attention's not been kept at all. Dolan is a regular supporter of our man Phil, so they get the Clover Bomb. That is right. I like that. Hockey sticks. Hockey sticks works for that read. That ain't too far from the house. We'll love to go, but I'll be in my way to Aruba. Aruba! I love Aruba. I don't know if I'll have time to do it, Joe. I got a box of cruise ship memories, and there's this fantastic restaurant I remember. It was about a 20-minute cab ride from the port in Arondastad, Aruba, and it was this little, it almost looked like somebody's house with a patio and 6 tables, and it overlooked the lagoon, and you could see the cruise ship from the distance. And they literally, if you went early in the day, you watched the chef fishing, and he caught the fish, and that's what was on the menu that night. And it was fantastic. It was so cheap, and it was great. I loved. I did a contract where for 3 months, every single, I believe it was Wednesday, I was in Aruba from 8 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. every single Wednesday for 3 months straight, and I loved it. On a sad note, I was in the bar that girl disappeared from literally 2 weeks before she disappeared. In that bar, and it was very late at night, and I was running late. I had to literally run through back alleyways to get back to the ship. And then that happened. It was really, really scary, really sad. NBA is dead to me. Yes, absolutely. I'd rather watch yeah. $500 super chat, Matt, is going to cost me $50. So deduct $50 from your super chat. Give yourself a $450 only. You have to give me this time. I've lost interest in it. I have no interest in the NBA Finals at all. I'm already fully moved on to the offseason. I'm fully moved on to committed to seeing what the Sixers are going to do. I'm more interested in the fact that nobody wants the Lakers coaching job. And why? I don't know. We got 15 minutes left. One of these things, I've got a bunch of stuff on this list. Kelly and Vegas' quarterback list. We'll save that for tomorrow. I just realized Chris Sims put out his quarterback list. It's not god awful. It's not great, but it's not god awful this year. So I want to go over that. We'll do the quarterback list tomorrow. Something weird happened on Twitter last night to me. And I want to bring it to the table. And I don't even remember what tweet it was that I made. I'm going to pull up my profile here because I want to see what tweet it was that I made that made this happen. Give me a second here. See, now can't find the tweet. Which one was it? Maybe it was this one. View quotes. This one does not have a quote tweet on it. So it's not that one. Anyway, somebody quote tweeted something I did. It was my tweet on the Kelly in Vegas tweet. Okay. But anyway, so one, John Belair, the weatherman of the stars. Okay. The man that called the storm of the century that never happened. Quote tweeted one of my things. I'm like, John Belaris? Haven't heard that name in 300 years. And I clicked on his profile to see what he was doing. And he follows me. I'm like, that's pretty cool. John Belaris follows me. So I shot him a follow back. So I shared it out with a comment. Kind of, who's the weirdest person that follows you that's semi-famous or famous that you don't interact with, you've never commented about? There's no reason why that person follows you other than you're great at what you do online. And I shared that out with a picture of him following me, and then I followed him back. And I got crushed. Some guy just blasted me saying that he's a scumbag, that I'm pretty much a scumbag for following him back. Did I miss something that happened? The last thing I remember about John Belaris was him getting involved and, him getting involved with being like drugged and kidnapped by like Russian prostitutes or something like that and having all this stuff stolen from him. And that was like probably 15 years ago. That is the last I remember John Belaris' name. And yes, John Belaris, the real estate agent, is because he's given up weather and moved into real estate. That John Belaris. Is he a bad person? Did he do something bad that I don't know about? Because there was some serious anger in this person's Twitter post to me about John Belaris following me and me thinking it was weird but cool. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, it went from this funny tweet, like this, semi-sarcastic tweet, to really dark and deep in 3 seconds. It was like a 10-second car, like that. And I'm like, I didn't really care enough to Google search it. I figured I'd put it towards the core 12. The Miami trip from hell, I remember that, but that wasn't his fault. So I don't understand. Like, in my mind, I'm like, did he get caught doing something bad? Did he, get caught with an underage girl? Did he scam somebody out of money like the Tollison guy? Like, what? Where was the hate on it? I thought it was funny. I thought it was cool. John Belaris started following me. And I don't know when he started following me. It wasn't yesterday because of that tweet, because I would have gotten a notification that he started following me. I don't know. It's not like he follows he's not one of those stars that has 300,000 followers but follows 300,000 people. He's got like 16,000 followers and he follows like 2,000 people. And I'm one of them. This is basically what I was told on Twitter by somebody, Eric. Why? Like, I don't care. If he's that bad of a person, then I'll unfollow him. I don't care. But I don't know why he's a bad person. Worse than all of them. Like, what did he do? What am I missing? If no Porzingis, I think maybe the Mavs have a chance. I don't know if they've got a chance. They might have a chance tonight with no Porzingis. And that freak injury they're saying, it was kind of weird, a rare injury. Yeah. I went through all 5 ad reads, Tim. I got it. All 5 ad reads are done and in the books. I don't miss my ad reads. There is no set times for ad reads. Do them whenever the hell I want. And I got all 5 done today, just so you know. I might hate the Lakers coaching job, or I might take it if the Core 12 gets season tickets. If you get the Lakers job, you better give me exclusive interview rights right here on Training the AM. That's all I'm saying. Belair, Benares? Is it Benares? Did he change his name to Benares to hide himself? Or is that what his name got changed to after the Russian stole his identity? Like, what did I miss? I didn't care enough last night to Google it. But now with Eric's comments and K1's comments, now I kind of feel like I have to Google search what John Belaris did wrong. Like, I'm totally missing what happened here. He should reach out to David. So hold on. One person says he needs to reach out to David Archeri. Other people are giving me thoughts that maybe David Archeri is suing him for something. You're all making comments, but no one's commenting on what did he do wrong that we hate. I never miss an ad read. Oh, it's just a misspell. I thought it was a joke about Benares. Benares, I love it. Yeah. But guys, what did he do? Like, I live under a rock. Like, I miss a lot. I mean, I'm pretty in tune with every rumor there is sports related. I have great taste in movies. I have, obviously, if Thebes is still watching, I dominated. I rolled his team in the best fictional TV, movie, football team thing. So I got a lot of taste in a lot of things. But my TMZ stuff, which Belaris, whatever he did, obviously, would fall into the TMZ category. You know, the C-level star celebrity. But I missed it. I have no clue what is offending so many people about John Belaris. Is it that bad? Like, it must be really bad if these are the comments I'm getting on it. Yeah, I mean, this was whatever he did bad, obviously, that everybody hates him. This was before this K1. So he was on a trip. He was like, he's a big-time bachelor and playboy kind of guy. He thinks he is, at least. And he was down in Miami at a club, and he thought he was getting picked up by a hot chick, but she ended up roofing him, drugging him. He passed out, went back to his condo or apartment. All this, I think there was artwork stolen, money stolen, identity stolen. He was just one of, supposedly, he helped bring down this big ring of this Russian prostitute gambling and kidnapping and extortion ring that was going on. These girls were being paid to drug guys, rich guys, and then rob them, basically. It was a big deal. I think it was like 15, 20 years ago. It was a big deal. I know he got fired from his last job, you know, in meteorology, but I think it had something to do with this, the Russian spy ring, because they didn't want the bad press, and they fired him before whatever. But then I do know he was like he was the regular call-in meteorologist for the Preston Steve show after this. He's done online stuff. He's become a real estate agent of the stars. I don't know. Nothing new for Belaris since early March. What? I don't understand. Meteorologist is a lot more exciting than I imagined. I mean, I don't know. He lived the ultimate bachelor lifestyle for a while. I don't know if he still does or not. Honestly, I don't even know what to talk about with this, because I'm just more in shock at the reactions I'm getting here online and in the comments now, because I haven't even thought of his name since in 15 years. I haven't. Trying to get back into TV, he trashed his ex. Other than that, yeah. Like, even the guy that got really dark and deep and over the top with me on Twitter, I asked him 3 times why, because I have literally no clue. And every time I just got a response of how awful he was. Always funny that he and Hurricane Schwartz hated each other. Dude, we never besmirched the Hurricane. Back in the mid-2000s, like 8, 9, 10, him and who was that shit? That I don't want to be, you know, too like dirt bag of a guy, but there was a girl that was on NBC 10 with Schwartz. She was just gorgeous. And then she left to take a lead spot somewhere else in another city. What was her name? And I thought she was being groomed to take over for Hurricane Schwartz, but he wasn't retiring anytime soon at this point. And I turned the NBC 10 5 o'clock news on every day just to see her weather report. I did. What was her name? She was, what's the word the cool kids use these days? Smoke show? I heard they steal organs in Brazil. Eagles better stay in their hotel room. They do. Jalen Hurts is going to have his liver stolen from him. It's going to be sold on the black market. And yeah, I don't know if he had anything to do with Epstein Island. I don't know. He wasn't that famous of a celebrity to be anywhere near that, I don't think. Someone just trying to create some controversy. Somebody, Belaris must have shit in somebody's Cheerios or something like that to get these comments. I think it was he tweets a lot about the Sixers, the big twill guy. Was that the girl Scott Harrell dated? I don't know who she dated. In my mind, she was always single and I was going to leave my wife for her, and my wife was okay with that. I can't remember her name. She had dark hair. I think she wasn't fully like she was either Native American or Indian. Like she had an interesting mix. Like I can't remember her name, but man, only thing Blair's did on Twitter was go to the Stones concert last night. Was the Stones concert was last night, and I didn't know about that. But I saw somebody tweet about U2. Were the Stones and U2 in Philly on the same night? Is that really even possible to do that? I saw somebody tweeting about a U2 concert in Philly. I'm like, that wasn't last night too, was it? I saw some people, your dealer that you didn't know was your dealer, Dave Keller, personal friend of mine, and he was sharing a lot of pictures and videos from the concert last night. Looks like the Rolling Stones, even at 80 years old, Mick Jagger, put on a fantastic show. Not Cheerios, it was Fruity Pebbles. Oh, okay, gotcha. Don't pee in my Fruity Pebbles, guys. Guys, we're coming up to the final few minutes here today. We'll get into the idiot, Kelly in Vegas, and her asinine quarterback list, and why Shayna Parveen. That's right. Shayna Parveen. She dated Scott Hartnell for a little bit. That's right. Shayna Parveen. I haven't thought of her in this conversation brought her up. I'm writing her name down because I'm going to be a perv or a creep and Google search her after the show, see where she is and what she's doing in life. I thought I saw maybe somebody from Philly was in Vegas seeing them. I don't know. I just saw somebody tweeting about a U2 concert last night, and it was a Philly person. So I just didn't put it all together. I was like, there's no way they had U2 at the Wells Fargo Center and the Stones at the Link the same night. That would just be asinine concert traffic-wise. And I thought Rory McIlroy needed cherry service. Yeah, dude. I'm going to need David Archerry after this show for sure. Sorry. If you don't know who Shayna Parveen was, Google search her. Sorry. Someone clip. No, I didn't mean to say it like that. I'm going to be a creep was the word I meant to say. I'm going to creep on her IG after this show. Went to DC after Philly, then went to Hawaii for a few years ago. She keeps track of it. So even your wife keeps track of her. That's she's so special that even Duck's wife was keeping tabs on her just to make sure Duck didn't leave her for Shayna Parveen. All wives had to keep tabs on Shayna Parveen. Had to. With that being said, I think that's a perfect moment to end this show right there, guys. We'll have a plentiful, great show, tomorrow. We'll talk about whatever comes up, quarterback list, Mount Rushmore of Philly weather people. Shayna would be on it. She doesn't deserve it, but she would be. Maybe Hurricane Schwartz. Did you see that? What's her name? Cecily Tynan is having charges pressed because she assaulted some lady at the Rolling Stones concert last night. That's going to get swept up under the rug. She's in San Diego now. So what do you say when you're done? Go F yourself, San Diego? Yeah, basically. I think Amy Fudul is a fox. Yeah, she's been around a while. I was always a Leslie Goodell guy over Amy Fudul. Messed up, but that was just me. Yeah, this was something today, K1. Honestly, the first 45 minutes of the show was some really good, solid Phillies conversation, some really good JT Realmuto conversation. We took a good 45 minutes before we went off the rails today. Still looking good. Absolutely. Schwartz, Roberts, Cecily Tynan. I don't know. It depends on what comes of this assault. She grabbed some lady and left some scratch marks on her because the lady was dancing and Cecily Tynan didn't want to be disturbed by the person sitting in front of her dancing at the Rolling Stones concert. Yeah. And eventually they got put back in their seats, but Cecily Tynan got bumped up to a suite so she didn't have to sit near the fan. Why couldn't the other person who got assaulted by Cecily Tynan get bumped to the suite? That other person, I'm going to find their name. I'm going to tell them to call David Archerry, the Cherry Law Firm. He'll prosecute for full compensation there. It got better when I was able to get back here. Yeah. Guys, we're wrapping it up right there. Cecily versus Kylie Kelsey, celebrity boxing. Wow. Two Spitfires right there. That's an interesting one. I like that. Celebrity death match. Let's get it on. Cecily Tynan versus Kylie Kelsey. I'm putting my money on Kelsey for sure, 1,000%. She's got too much Delco in her. Now that I'm back, I'll have to start gaining favor with the booker to get on the show. I actually thought of you yesterday, Tim, about booking you to come on soon. We'll work that out soon. Guys, with that being said, you're watching Trending in the AM on Edge of Philly Sports. Make sure you hit that like, share, subscribe, follow button wherever you're watching. I am Phil Stiefel. This is Edge of Philly. This is Trending in the AM. Go Birds. Ring that bell and bubbles up.